Building sites boarded up, security guards patrolling, angry creditors and subcontractors waiting for payment. There's a statewide scandal emerging from the federal government's stimulus spend. It was meant to provide desperately needed low-cost housing and provide a boost for the building industry. But the implementation phase appears to have failed. Today, almost 60 building sites have either ground to a halt or are on life support government funding. And now the O'Farrell government is left with a hemorrhaging problem. Cara Meldrum-Hanna reports.
This women's shelter in the heart of the Illawarra, south of Sydney, represents the end of the line in temporary crisis accommodation. The majority of women and children here have fled domestic violence, desperately seeking a new start. But they've inadvertently traded one fear for another.
It's scary. It is very scary because I'm actually panicking because I don't know what I'm going to do. That's right.
Belle, Jodie and Kate are trying to find affordable, safe and permanent accommodation. But with so few private rental properties available and a critical shortage of public housing, there's simply nowhere for them to go.
It's only temporary accommodation for 3 months, but at the end of the 3 months, where do people go?
How long do you have left here of the 12-week stay? How long do you have left here?
About 2.5 weeks left.
So you're staring down the barrel right now of being
yes.
without a roof on your head.
That's
over
correct,
your head.
yes.
That was 6 months ago. This week, 7:30 returned to the shelter to find out what's happened.
Well, I've moved actually from one refuge to another. I'm still in the same situation, homeless. It's become a nightmare, actually. Problems with the nationwide building, mainly.
Juliet is one of a silent, voiceless, growing class of victims of the federal government's lesser-known stimulus package disaster, the nationwide building program. In 2009, the federal government gave New South Wales Labor $1.9 billion to build more than 6,000 social housing units for the low-income, elderly, disabled and homeless.
Normally we wouldn't work for some of these builders, but because it was a government stimulus package, we thought, well, hang on a sec, how can you lose? It's a government job. It's all approved, it's all above board, but now we've just been left.
7:30 first met plumber Adam Christofides and many of these subcontractors outside this very building site 6 months ago. How much are you out of pocket now?
$190,000.
$65,000.
$240,000.
How do you feel about that?
Oh, not too good.
You struggling?
We're struggling.
All burnt by Pearl.
These building subcontractors are among hundreds of creditors, left more than $11 million out of pocket when the small building company they were working for, Pearl Proprietary Limited in Sydney, went bust in January. Housing New South Wales knew that Pearl was in trouble months before it collapsed, but nothing was done.
I would hope that now the Department of Housing can see that they've done wrong and put their hand in their pocket to rectify this, and then that we can hand these projects over to the people that really need them.
I don't think you have to be a lawyer to actually see that these projects were administered and awarded negligently. Now, if the department want to duck their heads, I'm quite happy as local member for Coffs Harbour to start looking underneath the surface and just find out who is responsible. We need a full inquiry.
Almost 6 months on, and with a new government in place, nothing has happened.
As far as I'm concerned, I'm highly embarrassed by the fact that 5 months after an election, I'm sitting here talking to you on an issue that should have been resolved months ago.
Local member for Coffs Harbour, Nationals MP Andrew Fraser, has been trying to get answers for months.
I requested an FOI be put in prior to the election. Now, I haven't seen the documentation.
Can you pick up the phone and say, Minister, what's going on here?
Well, I mean, the Minister's attitude is he wants to get the jobs done, but 5 months up the line, nothing's been done. In fact, I've been told the sites in Wollongong are deteriorating badly. Coffs Harbour site is overgrown, so the whole thing's a mess.
The subcontractors for Pearl, they believe that they have provided you with a solution and a way forward. A local builder has provided you with a proposal to finish off these projects, and as I understand it, it's been sitting on your desk for months now. Why is that?
It hasn't been sitting on my desk. In fact, the department has been working really hard to try to come up with a proposal that complies with normal probity requirements.
The builder behind the proposal is Ken Tuggerall. He says Housing New South Wales approved his proposal months ago and wants to know why the minister still hasn't signed off on it.
We've requested meetings, we've requested phone calls back. I get nothing.
I've made over 100 phone calls to the minister's office, 40 directly to Greg Pearce, our minister for the Illawarra, who can't return my phone call.
Well, we haven't come up with a contract yet, which is why we're sitting here today, because we haven't been able to get to a situation where we could sign off on something.
See, this is exactly what the subcontractors have just wanted to hear.
Yeah. Well, I think they've heard that. Certainly anyone who's spoken to me, I've told them that already.
Well, unfortunately, subcontractors say they just haven't been able to get in touch with you.
Well...
Have you met with the subcontractors?
No, I haven't. No.
But all of this waiting doesn't come for free. According to information provided to 7:30, the bill for the 24-hour security employed to patrol the numerous stalled sites across the state could be running into the millions. 7:30 was unable to confirm these figures with either the Department of Finance or Housing. Both told 7:30 they have nothing further to add.
How someone can spend over $1 million in security to keep these sites closed but not sign off on a contract when that money could have gone straight back into to pay for these things to be finished.
And this was a problem left to us by the previous government and the federal government.
Can you achieve it in weeks, in months? Will you have a way forward then? Will there be action?
I'm sure that I'll have an answer very, very soon.
Very soon?
Very soon, very soon. But as I said, our priority has been...
I've been pushed by these subcontractors and they want to know what very soon means.
I understand that. Our priority has been on the other projects to make sure that we didn't have further collapses and more subcontractors and suppliers in trouble.
I still have a fervent belief that negligence is there, to the extent that I've only just, and I should have done it much earlier, referred the whole matter to ICAC and to the Auditor-General. Negligence will be proved and the government will have to pay.
It's not a matter for the government to pay the subcontractors. Our responsibility is to finish these projects, which were started under the previous government, and to finish them in the taxpayers' interest.
Will you call an investigation into how this project was rolled out and handled by the Department of Housing?
I will, yes. Yes.
When?
Monday.
We worked for that money. We really do deserve it.
And if you don't get it?
I'll keep this job site closed forever.
But not everyone has forever.
All it is them sorting out the issue with the nation building, with the workers, the contractors.
While the political wrangling and buck passing continues, back at the women's shelter, Juliet is packing her bags once more, in search of another shelter that can take her in.
And I can't understand why, they won't continue and get these properties, completed. That's all we need.
Caro Meldrum Hannah reporting.